We are live. Third to First In podcast. Geno, how are you this week?
Good, Keith. What are you up to?
Not much. Enjoying this weather?
No. I can tell you right now. Look at me. Look at the clothing I have on. Like I was on eBay looking at sunglasses or something like that, and it popped up things that you might like, and it was a giant raccoon suit made out of real raccoons. It was like $6,000.
Jesus.
And I'm thinking, man, does that thing look so warm? If I had $6,000, maybe I should sell Stellar or something. Maybe get myself a raccoon suit.
Yeah, there you go. I saw Sanchez was hooked up to the horse trailer.
Yeah, it was a little. Obviously, Sanchez can't haul a 3-horse trailer, but yeah, I thought it would be a funny picture, so I just backed it up in front of it.
I was with. I don't know if this is the cold weather or not, but today I was petting Renzi, my dog Renzi, and found a tick on her, like on her.
Oh,
on her back.
Yeah. Lex found a tick on Bindi, one of our corgis, today too.
It's weird because she's not outside a lot. I take her outside and walk around, but it's just in the grass. It's not like high grass or anything. I was sort of surprised that she got a tick on her. So
you got to keep checking them.
Yeah.
And if you need a tick removal expert, my oldest stepdaughter would come over to your house and get that tick out like that with her hands. It's crazy how good she does. She's amazing at it. She's the tick whisperer. I
saw there's some TikTok, some weird TikTok that keeps coming up my feed. Some guy that sits out in the park with squirrels that jump on him and they have ticks on him, and he has like tweezers and takes these ticks out of them. So
wow.
I just went off that.
You went deep into the tick search, didn't you?
No. I mean, this just lately that was on my feed.
Yeah.
So then today when I found the tick, I'm like, I know what to do. I've seen these TikTok videos, so I went and got a set of tweezers and
it worked. We have a tick removal too. If you ever have a problem where it's really embedded, we have a tick removal tool at the house. So just call me. I'll bring it over.
I wonder, is it typical that it would just be one, or should I worry?
Yeah, I mean, it can happen. 3 could jump on them. Yeah, but yeah, just keep it checked. That's all. And he's got long hair too, so you really got to pet him like well.
Couple years back, we had a car over a hillside up on our street, Delaware in West Mifflin. We went to it, and the occupant was out when we got there, so we're just hanging around waiting for the tow. But I just briefly stepped into the weeds just to look down and see where the car was at. And then I think I was standing on the road, and somebody's like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "What?" And there's a tick on like my neck. Then we left there, and we were working shift, and we went to Eaton Park to eat. While sitting at Eaton Park, found another one on the back of my neck. Mm-hmm. And then we got back to station a little bit later. There was one on my arm. Like 3 ticks within a couple minutes of just walking.
That means you're sweet.
I guess so. All right, let's hear from our sponsors, FireCam.
We'd like to thank our sponsor, FireCam, the one and only manufacturer of helmet cameras built for firefighters. For over a decade, FireCam has been hell-bent on making durable, heat-resistant cameras worthy of the fire service. But they don't stop there. FireCam also offers dash cams, body cams, drones, and more. Their new FireCam Blackjack flashlight kit is a must-have for interior firefighting. With 3 helmet cameras to choose from, the FireCam Mini 1080, the FireCam 1080, and the FireCam Onyx 4K, there's an option for every firefighter. Order now at firecam.com.
All right, let's bring in our guest.
Oh, I see it. Go ahead, start my second.
Copy, requesting second.
All right, welcome, Chief Scott Garing of the Cranberry Township Fire Department.
Chief.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good. How are you? Good to see you.
Good, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thanks for coming on. So before we get involved a little bit, I wanted to get a little background. Can you tell us your history, how you came up and became the chief of Cranberry Township?
Yeah. Man, I hope this podcast doesn't.
We got time.
We got time. All right.
Let us hear it, man. Let us hear it.
So, ironically, I took advantage at a young age of going to work with my dad. So I went to work with him on Take Your Kid to Work Day, and he was working as a pre-hospital registered nurse for Lifeline at that point. But that day he was working for an ambulance service locally, and had a day like you've never seen before. And I got to watch my dad, I watched him save people's lives that day. I've never seen anything like that in my entire life. Like I was not exposed at all to public safety. And I watched it. I watched him care for people, whether it was medications or holding someone's hand. And I was like, man, my dad's a freaking hero. Like, this is cool. And that's what led me to be to start into it. So I got into EMS at 16
Same here,
years.
brother.
Yeah, got into EMS at 16 years old. That led to having folks in public safety that were there from the fire department, which drug me to the fire department. At 18, I ended up joining the military. Spent time in the Army from 1999 to 2006. 2 overseas deployments. I was back and forth. I was in the Guard, but I did 2 overseas deployments, one to Germany and one to Iraq with the most impressive people you'll ever find in your life, and it was the best people the military has to offer. Can't really tell any more details about it because technically we weren't there, but had the opportunity of a lifetime to learn from some of the most amazing people you'll ever meet.
Awesome.
So I came home and I started into EMS full time. Worked for a variety of different services, Cranberry EMS, Harmony EMS, and then I became a paramedic and went to Ross Westview. And honestly, that organization was really what built me into what I am today. There's a gentleman there by the name of Greg Porter. He's one of the most important mentors I've ever had in my entire life. And honestly, I learned so much from him that I could never repay him for what he's given me. And it was basically because he believed in me. He believed in everybody there. One of the problems that organization has is they make people so good they have to leave. After 7 years, 7 years as a supervisor, I couldn't climb the ladder anymore. And I wanted more. I was hungry. So I had left and went to be a director of ambulance service in Mars called Quality EMS. And then within a year, after everything that's happened with the merger that we're going to talk about and the Safer Group, and also completing my education late in life, I found out I had my VA benefits and went from nothing through my master's degree in 3 years.
Wow.
I had Cranberry had hunted me out and said, "Hey, we had this opportunity and we'd like you to take it."
Wow.
And ironically, I applied for the job that they gave me 3 years prior to me getting it. And I got a denial letter, an automatic rejection letter. And that letter, it pissed me off.
I bet.
I was like, nobody tells me no. Nobody tells me no. So I went, and that was part of my motivation for education. Drove straight through every semester and got what I needed. And when it came open again, was invited to walk through the door. I didn't even have to apply for it.
Love this.
Yeah. So I actually have the denial letter, the rejection letter on my wall, and
Nice.
It's motivating. It's motivating.
Absolutely.
Successes are built off of failures, right? And that's honestly some of the things that we have to talk about tonight. Is your successes are built off of your failures.
You get knocked down, you got to get back up.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about Harmony, your time with Harmony Fire Department. Well, you're a life member there, right? So you're still.
Yep. So life member at the Harmony Fire District. I've been there since 1998. God, is that weird to say? Oh man, I remember. I make fun of people all the time.
You don't want to hear our year.
Yeah.
I wish I could say 1998.
1998, and I've served in essentially every role at the organization operationally. But the fire district was once the Zelienople Fire Department and the Harmony Volunteer Fire Company.
Oh.
So they were split. Before they merged, the Zelienople Fire Department served a 1 square mile and the Zilly Borough. Maybe it was 2 square miles. It wasn't very big, but it was populated like a town. And then the Harmony Volunteer Fire Company served 52 square miles outside of that, which was multiple municipalities: Harmony Borough, Lancaster Township, Jackson Township. So they serviced that area, right? It was essentially it circled around us, if you will. But the Zelienople Fire Department and the Harmony Volunteer Fire Company had a pretty significant past of things that happened, just like anyone else. Again, successes are built off failures, right? Mm-hmm. Well, at the Zilly Fire Department, I had another important mentor that was my chief at the time, Rob Reeb, and he was there whenever we had 3 individuals die on their way to training one night.
Oh my goodness.
These 3 boys,
Oh,
Sam Busey, Elijah Lunsford, and Trevor Barkley were all on their way to the fire station, and they were doing what kids were do in the snow. What do they do? Donuts, right? Have fun, enjoy themselves. Well, unfortunately, they paid the price that night and overturned their car into an icy pond, and they all 3 passed away.
I remember.
Afterwards, we learned some hard lessons. We weren't there for the incident. The chief sheltered us from it. We actually went to a fire and had an amazing time putting out the neighbor's fire, but we didn't know about it at that point. And we afterwards we had to pick up the pieces. Right, we just had 3 members die. We kind of had to realize that we couldn't have done anything for them, even if we were called. Like, we would have been ineffective, or we would have hurt or killed ourselves. And we did something I actually talk to people and give speeches about. I call it turning lemons into lemonade. And we learned a lot of lessons from them that night, and probably did the most impressive volley of training that any volunteer fire department's ever seen before. And it was everything from water rescue to firefighter certification to everything in between. And our lesson from that was we need to be ready. It was our wake-up call. We had to get on our game, and we've produced some of the most amazing firefighters I've seen in this area, or at least for that time. It was just absolutely impressive. So we had a serious operational volley of training that really made some amazing firefighters for the area. So from there, we had taken and I'm sorry, did you want me to get into the merger stuff?
I want to hear this story though. Yeah.
So
if you want to fish it out,
Yeah, definitely. I'm sorry.
which piece? What are you looking for?
Oh yeah, where you said you were picking up the pieces and what you had turned Zeli and Harmony into a combined.
Yeah. So through this whole process, obviously things worked and things failed, right? With the learning the lessons from the boys, we would try something and it wouldn't work. We couldn't get people's buy-in. We couldn't get them to do what we needed them to do. It would fail, it would fall apart, and we would pick up the pieces. And that gentleman by the name of Rob Reeb, he was the chief and I was the captain at that point, and he would help me pick the pieces up, put them all back together, make something, and try it again. He just let us keep trying. If this doesn't work, try that. If this doesn't work, try that. And his belief in me and the rest of us that were leading this charge really empowered us to grow together as a group and create the leaders of the area down that led us through the merger, essentially. So from there, we had this amazing operational rebound at the organization. And then we saw, just like most other people see, we started to see a dive in membership. We started to see, just like anyone experienced in the 2000s, a loss of funding and or inability to purchase things and move the organization forward. The Harmony Volunteer Fire Company and the Zelienople Fire Department essentially started this process in the 90s. Again, successes are built off failures, right? In the 90s, they tried. Didn't work. Early 2000s, they did an entire study with DCED, the Department of Community and Economic Development.
Yeah.
And it was a really old study, nothing compared to the quality that they put out today that a few people that I know do unbelievable work with, like Rob Brady with the consulting company and Chief Scott. Those folks really put together some unbelievable reports. We had the unfortunate circumstance that this guy was trying to sell his teaching business more than he was trying to put the details of what the report should be. He pretty much said, "What do you want us to say? I'll make it say it." And so after that, we all sat down. We were still on that membership high piece where we were like, you know what, we'll be okay for a little while. And we voted it down again in the early 2000s, late 2000s. So we all started skating by, we kept doing our own thing. We're seeing numbers dwindle. We're seeing issues with having fire trucks that needed to be replaced, and we didn't have the money. We were in 2014, and our newest fire truck was a 2001, and the rest of everything else was older than that. So we were looking at some serious costs to replace it. Well, every year the municipality would have us wash down Main Street prior to the 4th of July parades. 4th of July is huge in Zillyboro.
Yeah, Zilly Parade.
Unbelievable amount of people at it. So they had us wash it down, and we were doing it. And the current chiefs, which were Rob Reeb and Neil Nana, were standing there on the Main Street, and they said, we're short. The Zelienople guys said, well, we're kind of short on money. The Harmony guys were like, yeah, we're kind of short on manpower. And they were like, well, how about we help each other out? Wham.
Wow.
Right there, handshake on the corner of the street, and we were off and running. And that handshake, that gentleman's agreement, they took it and they went back and started talking to their groups. They started finding their internal salesmen to sell it to the groups. We started getting things in order. We formed a board that would essentially merge the two. They were representatives. There was a 7-person board between the two organizations. 4 of them were municipal votes. Then there was 1 vote from the Zilly Fire Department, even though 3 people represented it. 1 person from the Harmony Volunteer Fire Company, even though they had 3 representatives. And then finally, there was a board president that we had chosen, and that person was the tiebreaker, if there was one. There never was one. Everything we did was unanimously agreed upon, because we all talked and we all agreed and we all worked together so well at that point that there was nothing that was ever a sticking point for us. So the merger process is honestly, it's crazy simple. It's really communication. It's really getting buy-in and ensuring that you put the right salesperson in for the right sales job, if you will.
Yeah. And so how long, so what year was that? You said that was 2014 on the street downtown Zilly?
Yep.
And then, so from 2014,
we merged in 2015.
Oh, okay. So it happened that quickly.
Yeah, we sat down. We started. We formed monthly meetings, and we had an objective on each one of them. For example, the first one was, all right, we got agreement from both of our organizations to pursue investigating a merger with the neighboring agency. Okay, we got that. We got that vote ahead of us. And then we selected a lawyer. We sat down and said, all right, here's some options. All right, we're going to use Kim Hauser. And Kim.
Yep, we had him on, yeah.
Yep, Kim came in and he wrote all of the documents. And we then, after the documents were done, and literally we used Harmony's bylaws, and we made it so it was a merger, but we made it easier for everybody, and the Zelienople Fire Department got sucked into the Harmony Volunteer Fire Company because they had an existing 501c3 that we wanted to retain out of the process.
Okay, so as obviously you've been through it, and Keith, if you don't mind asking questions, does one have to do that? So like, does one have to, like, you know what I mean? Like in legalese, does one have to say they absorb the other? Is that how it has to work? Or does it just two dissolve and become and one's created?
So I think there's a couple of different ways to do it. You can create umbrella organizations that go over top of them. You can dissolve an organization into another one. And then you can likely also stand up a separate new entity, which will take a complete ground up build and then dissolve both of them into it. The process of dissolving it is crazy simple. So we'll get to that here in a second.
Yeah.
So from these meetings, we got paperwork together. We made sure that only one person was the point of contact with the lawyer, because regardless of what you think, if you pick up the phone and call the lawyer, he's tracking time.
Yep.
So
even if he says, "Hey, how's your day going?"
Yeah.
Listen, it's just...
So we did that. We got the paperwork and we got it sent off. Well, while we were pending Pennsylvania to get it all approved, I mean, this was a couple of month process. We were 3-4 months. We had the paperwork done.
Yeah.
And we got the final vote from the organization and documented all of that and sent it off. And it was pending approval. During that, we took advantage and formed some work groups. One of them was operations. One of them was finance.
Okay.
The other one was bylaws, and like mashed both groups together and had them start working collaboratively as a group. Oh, by the way, we also started running all the same calls, sharing firefighters, sharing officers, and even going. I was going to a different. I wasn't even going to the Zilly fire station at that point. I lived closer to the Lancaster station, so I went there, and they welcomed us in, let us drive their apparatus. Everything was just.
Wow.
It was essentially starting the forming of that relationship, right?
Yeah.
And now we put everybody together, and we continued to work through all those processes. And I would say that some of the things that are really big sticking points we really didn't talk about. There are organizations that completely derail their mergers because they start talking about apparatus and what manufacturer you're going to have post-merger. Start talking about the color schemes and the types of gear and this, that, and the other thing. I think that is a complete misstep by people to even talk about that before everything is done. Because in all reality, who is going to select that? The new organization, right?
Right.
That whoever the new organization is and whoever the leadership is, they're going to do what they think is best. It's not going to be the past organization. So, while I could say that some of that stuff that we talked about, like operational guidelines and everything like that, were really time consuming and they were not worthwhile. But in all reality, they made our relationships grow together even more by working together. So they weren't completely pointless, but we ended up doing something different in the end.
So just to clarify, you were a member originally with Zelienople.
Correct.
And then, okay. So,
Yep.
So one question I would have though is when that merger took place, Zelienople went into Harmony. Who did you guys have elections at that point, or did you keep the Harmony officers, or how did that work out?
So while the paperwork was being processed, we left everything separate, obviously. We both adopted the same bylaws, so they mirrored each other. We both adopted the same policies, so they mirrored each other, but we were still independently operating. And but the Zilly business meetings, all the Harmony members were in. The Harmony business meetings, all the Zelienople members were in. Okay. So we were sharing everything completely. From there, we before the paperwork had came back, we started. We had elections. We even had to select a new name for the organization. The new name was a crazy night, and we actually picked. It was originally supposed to be the Heritage Volunteer Fire Company, and at the end we were like, well, the old organization was the HVFC. Well, the new one is the HVFC, the Heritage Volunteer Fire Company. So we were like, we kind of made a mistake with that. Let's go back and revisit it. So all of us as a group sat down again, and we realized that the Zelienople group really loved their number. Lots of pride in the number 22, double deuce, deuces are wild, those kinds of things.
Cool.
And then the Harmony group really loved the word harmony. So we were like, all right, let's just mash them together. The Harmony Fire District, Station 22. Bang, we were done.
That's simple. That's simple. Wow.
Yeah.
Put your ego aside, a lot of shit can get done, right?
That's absolutely true.
So was that like one of the biggest dispute or things you guys had to work out, or what was like was there anything that you guys really argued about during this whole merger? Or
the biggest problem we had was the night that we elected officers. So us as a group, we came together. There was I'm gonna say almost 80 people in the room, and all of them could vote. And oh, by the way, it was 35 or 30 Zelienople members, and the rest were Harmony members. And I was like, uh-oh, I see the writing on the wall here. I know what's happening. And we sat down and we voted. We completely voted on a whole new slate of officers, and from the top to the bottom. And things changed. Surprisingly, there were some people that wanted to see some change in the organization from both sides. And there was a lot of people got jumbled up in the mix. So I was fortunate enough that there was more Harmony folks in the room, that I was elected chief for the initial part of the merger there, and I kept it for 10 years until recently.
Wow.
But the making was on the wall is we could have had a complete changeover, that the Harmony folks could have taken everything and ran with it. But honestly, they all spoke up that they wanted to change that night, and you could see it. That led to some violence. That led to things flying across the fire station. That led to some verbal altercations. However, it was what the elections were. So at that point, we were still in our separate firehouses. So Zelienople still had a station, Harmony had a station. And when the violence started kicking up, I grabbed our people. I worked with them for years and said, "Hey, let's go. Let's get out of here." If they, that's part of the 5 steps of anger. Really, is like the denial. Denial, acceptance, depression, something like that. The 5 stages of grief. There we go. That's what it was called.
Yeah, not anger.
They were in the anger part.
Yeah.
And so we went back to the firehouse, and some things ensued after that, where they had a completely secret meeting without us to try and because they didn't like the turnout of the elections, to try and overthrow the entire thing. We had found out about it. We let them have their meeting because there was nothing that they could do. Once the paperwork is sent off and at the state auditor general's office, there is nothing you can do. They are signing it and they're turning it back in if everything is kosher with it. So luckily, that night that they did have that meeting, the current chief at that point legitimately looked at the people in the room that were causing the stink, and he said, like, you're the problem. You're the reason why that we can't advance and move. And I give him all the credit in the world for having that backbone to all of his members. And God rest his soul, Neil Nana. He was the one that stood up and said, "You know what? You guys are part of the problem. You're the reason why we're in the situation we're in." Yep. Beyond that, we had a lot of communication with the municipalities too at that point. Transparency is freaking key in today's day and age. And if you want to see change, it happens on the local level. This was our chance to pull our elected officials into a room and say, this is how much money we need to operate. This is how we need to operate. And put them inside the inner workings of the entire thing and allow them to see what it takes, what it costs, how it works, and everything that goes along with that. And that relationships we still thrive on today, because we're now managed by a council of governments, which is those people that are from the municipal representatives from the area. So they really did well with helping us through the process.
Nice. That's interesting. That sort of topic comes up a lot from a lot of our guests that run successful departments, about the communication factor that they have with their municipality and how that really helps their department.
Oh yeah. That's key to Cranberry too. The municipal assistance that we get and the communication with everything is it's second to none, to be honest with you.
Pre-show we were talking, and Mark could have came out of the same script. Mark said the same thing. He has very good relations with their councils and their governments and their, whoever governs the community. So yeah, that's awesome.
A lot of people think that that they're not allowed to see it, that everything happens behind a wall. You just need to give me money and let me do what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't believe in that. They are giving municipal tax money, regardless of how you get it, if it's a donation or through a fire tax. That's municipal tax money, and they have a right to say what they need to say to get it done.
Sure.
So you're not operating in some veil of secrecy. In all honesty, if you are, it's probably what's failing you.
Or every time you think you might need a piece of fire apparatus or equipment or whatever, they act like you're the beggar at the door.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're the person standing at the door saying, "Oh, can I have a little bit more?" You know what I mean?
For sure.
That's, and a lot of those, and I know a lot of politicians. I'm not. There's a certain politicians that are like that. They want that. They thrive on that, which again hurts everybody in the community.
Yeah.
Not just the fire department.
Yep, absolutely.
Fire department takes care of the community, not the councilman at 3 a.m. You know, it's
So I assume after, the merger, obviously you guys had a little rough road there at the beginning. Things I'm sure started smoothing out, but I'd imagine, did you have some members from maybe both sides that always sort of carried a chip on their shoulder about the merger, or grumbled or tried to cause problems?
Absolutely. And I will tell you, through the process, I had mentioned it one time, we had to do a lot of things. We had to pick new gear, right? We had to pick fire truck colors. We had to do this. We had to do that. One of the keys to all of that was always picking the right salesman for the right sales job. I knew the people that I was going to have communication issues with, and I would find the right person to be able to talk to that group that I knew communicated with them well. And I would pick that person every time to say that, because if you don't care who gets credit, you're unstoppable. Unstoppable.
Right.
And that's exactly what the key was to our success, was finding those people and ensuring they were the ones selling it. Yeah, we did have some. Post merger, we had a serious boost in membership. We had. I remember showing up to a fire in Portersville's area. It was a training night. We had 25 pack firefighter 1 certified dudes standing there. We had more on the Harmony trucks than the entire first alarm brought. And I was like, this is awesome. Like, this is amazing. This is what we did it for. But then understanding over the years that the membership piece is like riding a wave. So my good friend Jimmy Ellis told me, you're going to have your peaks and your valleys, and he compared it to a wave. Because I was sitting there talking to him right after the merger, and he was so excited about it. And he said, just watch, you're going to go down at some point. You got to figure out when you're going down how you get back up. That's so the membership did take a dive, and it was basically because there were now standards. There were now requirements to maintain membership. You weren't just hanging on a roster. We were holding your feet to the fire, and we were making sure that you did what you were supposed to do and be an active participating member of the organization. And some people also found it that they were like, oh, you know what? I can actually relax now because there's a whole bunch of people here. I was only sticking on. I was only hanging on because there was nobody else to do the position. So we had people leave. We had people leave that were everything was okay. They left, but there was also people that left out of haste. They were upset. They were mad. Mm-hmm. You sold my favorite fire truck. I'm no longer an officer, so I don't want anything to do with you. But I mean, respectfully, like, it is what it is. Like, hey, thank you for your time. I'll see you later. And we would take care of it in the long run, essentially. So I don't care who they were. If they left, I was always kind to them. I would always shake their hand and say thank you. Still do to this day.
So any lessons learned from this? Anything you doing differently, you think, if you had a part of this operation again, merging departments?
Yeah, I would have more people involved administratively. That year after you merge is probably one of the hardest years you'll ever endure as the chief, and we still didn't segregate duties at that point. We did to a degree, but not completely. Like, the chief handled operations and the president handled all administration. Mm-hmm. And it's time consuming. I was very fortunate that I was working 24-hour shifts and had plenty of days off to be able to focus on it. But that person has got a absolutely heavy lift, absolutely tons of work to do to try and rebuild the organization and get it where it needs to be.
Yeah, and it's 100% volunteer, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot for a person.
It absolutely is, but it's truly one of the proudest things that I've ever been a part of in my life. And I know we're talking about it, and I'm sitting here talking to you, but it was truly a team of people. Everything that I've ever done, there's a team behind it. And they're powerful, and they motivate me just as much as I motivate them.
Well, it sounds like you led it for 10 years after, and you were there at the initial merger point. So, I mean, that says a lot about you as a man and how you kept that organization running.
I
And by
Appreciate
your
that.
leadership, I meant, like, not you single-handedly, your leadership and, the culture you developed in that merger says a lot.
Yeah. So I actually I had someone recently. I think they were trying to use it as a negative against me, and they called me a managing fire chief. And I was like, I don't even know what that means. Like, Googled it on the old Google machines, and I was like, managing fire chief, and it was exactly what a fire chief should be doing. I was like, thanks for the compliment.
Nice. So obviously, this merger started out with two chiefs talking in the middle of the street one day. But if you had to give your advice for any other departments that are thinking about approaching neighbor departments, what would you think the first step would be to
I think it
the
just
merger?
honestly it just sits down with that gentleman conversation and complete transparency and trust. It is truly something that just being a genuine person and being a good neighbor can really go a long way in helping each other. I know that there's people out there that are completely against it, and usually the reason that they're against it is because they're going to lose in some way in the manner. But ultimately, they're looking at it through the wrong lens. They're going to gain big time because they're going to create a fire service that is 10 times better than it ever was.
Yeah.
You're just looking at it through the wrong lens because you may not be the chief, or you may not be the captain, or you may not be whatever. But in all reality, you're leaving something in your wake as you make it better for the next generation by building something that really can thrive in today's day and age. The times changed, and you got to get with it. You got to swallow your pride. You got to put the people first, and every time that should be the focus: is that people are first.
I think that's the hardest point, is that the firemen to set their pride down. If that can be overcome, and two adults, two men, man and woman, whoever, can shake a hand, and as an honest adult, a lot can get done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's tough. I mean, I'd imagine it's tough losing your identity in a fire company that you loved and stuff like
Absolutely.
that. But there obviously has to be some give and take,
but it's not about
names changed and stuff like
Yeah.
Right.
So in my presentations I give for mergers, the beginning two slides are two gentlemen that legitimately, Tim Sapienza, his life is the Harmony Fire District. He was the chief for 35 years prior to my time. His dad was a chief before then, and he has given his life to the organization. That dude still runs calls today, and he's still there, and he is part of it, and he is thriving, And then the other person is Rob Reeb, I also talked about before. He's been there for like 35 years. They both were salesmen of the merger. They both were huge pieces of moving things down the road. It's not about losing your identity. It's about creating something that's better than you ever could have dreamed. And whenever you put your pride aside and realize that, if I don't do this, I may not, the fire service may go away, and I may be its demise by leading it down the wrong road. But these guys, they are all in on the organization still, and they have an unbelievable amount of years involved in both old organizations.
Yes. Also, I wanted to transition to, I wanted to ask you a little bit about Cranberry Township and your fire department there. Obviously, you guys got a pretty busy department and some great facilities. Can you tell us a little bit about Cranberry Township?
Yeah. So Cranberry, it's a pretty busy place. We run about 1,200 calls a year. We really try to work pretty hard on allowing our volunteers to focus on operations and training. They are supported by the Department of Fire and Emergency Services, which I work for. The Department of Fire and Emergency is comprised of myself, a training coordinator, a recruitment coordinator, and a risk reduction position. The risk reduction position will be hired early next year. Plug. But the organization we support, we essentially help the CTVFC with everything that plagues the modern volunteer fire service. So budgets and scheduling training and coordination of activities and lots of documentation and grants and all of those things that are very time consuming. We try to handle and work work on to ensure we're lighting the load on the board of directors or the brigade officers at the organization. There is truly a team there like I've never seen before. That team of individuals, so the board of directors and the brigade officers, are truly powerful. And they really, really, really try to focus on doing the right thing. And we work together unbelievably well. In 2017, the organization did a strategic plan by VFIS, and it came out with 22 initiatives to modernize the fire service in Cranberry Township. In 2017, they started that, and in 2022, we finished all 22 objectives. And those things outlined like putting in an officer selection process. We don't vote on officers in Cranberry. We appoint officers based off of credentials and experience and training, and through a process that verifies that you are you have a knowledge base by a written test, you have a scenario test, and you have a interview process through a panel. And those individuals would be appointed into the position, and essentially the position is theirs forever if they continue to perform and function in the role, and they get an annual evaluation just like you would for a job. So that was one of the initiatives. The other one was right sizing the fleet, eliminating some of the apparatus that we had that was like every other volunteer firehouse, that you would find so many fire trucks, and you would also find that when each chief would be elected into the position, they were like, well, I think we should have an aerial. I think we should have a truck.
Yes.
I think we should have this, or I think we should have that. And we right-sized it. Currently, we have 3 engines. One's a reserve. And we have a tower. We have a rescue. We have a walk-in tandem axle rescue on order right now to be in May of 2027 from Pierce Glick Fire Equipment. And we also have a slew of squads and incident command vehicles. So we're lucky.
Looking at your
What's that?
apparatus today, that truck's pretty sweet looking.
Well, it's kind of broken right now. So
Oh no.
one of our friends from someone that may have been on a past podcast that we were just talking about earlier, they were utilizing it at the Jimmy Ellis weekend, and it suffered a catastrophic failure by operating it incorrectly.
Oh, you know what? I heard about that actually.
It is out of service.
Building? Yeah.
It got extended and lowered into a roof, and it buckled the fly section.
There was an accident overnight here. Back of the end of an aerial truck was hit by another piece of fire apparatus. That's all I heard.
I think it happened in Jefferson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Whitehall's truck.
That's okay.
To it.
And then the fly section came in today, so the repairs are in process. But we do have a rental truck right now from Brindley Mountain. That they were very kind and allowed us to rent a fire truck for a very small cost. Essentially, what we would have to pay for it for 40 days is all we paid, and we get to keep it for 6 months. So
Hey, that's a business idea we should get into, Dan. We should
I'll
rent
tell
trucks
you,
out.
You're not the first person that I heard Brindley Mountain. They've been in a business for a while now. I started following them back like during COVID, but they're supposedly if you need a loaner rig, they're right there.
Yeah, they I bought a rescue truck from them in Harmony, and I will tell you, they are some of the nicest people to deal with. They've got absolutely down south roots, and they have so much southern hospitality. They're amazing people to work with. So
that's awesome. Good to hear that. In today's day and age, that's not a common thing.
Yeah, Sam Gates from Pierce and Glick, as well as them, really worked hard to get us where we needed to be.
Sam Gates?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's the. Yeah. Sorry,
I know he watches. I know he's probably going to comment here.
And then from there, so the group really is focused on some more of those changes. One of them was implement a staffing program. Obviously, you guys know how fast fires burn nowadays, and burn any hotter, they burn faster. So we had to get ahead of the curve. So the organization and the township implemented a stipend staffing program. That program has gone from in its inception from 17% to now we're bouncing around in the 90s every month with staffing that is at least 2 or more. We have a very active program. We just put in our first 2 live-ins at the firehouse, but things are well. One of the biggest things that we've done recently is I went to FDIC and I listened to a gentleman speak, Chief Clyde from Dallas, Texas, I believe it is. And he did a presentation that really invigorated me, trying to help invigorate the group with culture at Cranberry, and essentially has made us really, really focus on safety through proficiency in tasks. So if you're good at what you do, it's automatically safer. Instead of having that golden safety road paved by trying to avoid things, we wanted you to hit it head on and make sure that you're training so well that you're safer in the long run. And the organization over the last probably 5 months now that the brigade officers have been pushing this, they bid on like a Rottweiler, man. And I have seen them train like you wouldn't believe. The leadership plus the firefighters have been absolutely amazing. And honestly, it seems to me, and obviously I don't, they're like, give me more. They give me more. I want some more. Keep it coming. Let's keep going. Let's keep fighting. And it's truly a breath of fresh air to see a very young group want more. They want it. And that's exciting.
I follow your social media. I've been following Cranberry's. So you're the Township Fire Department's page or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you guys are very active on social media. You know, it's almost, I mean, it's great. It's really awesome. So you could tell how much community involvement there is. Your training nights, you guys are posting your training nights. And maybe I'm seeing stuff that you and I have a mutual friend, Bruce Heslett.
Yeah. Yep, we do.
He posts a lot. I'm friends with him on Facebook. And obviously he takes great pride in Cranberry's Fire Department.
Yeah.
And it's, maybe I see his stuff too, but it seems like a lot of Cranberry content.
Yep. Yeah. Bruce is the assistant chief of the organization. So I work really closely with him on a lot of different things.
So he posts a lot, obviously, with, in regards to the fire department.
Sure. Yeah. A lot of pride there, a lot of years. He's one of those old guys I was talking about.
Yeah. He's probably going to watch this. So he called me an old guy, right?
Well, all right, Chief. Well, I think that's all the questions I had for you. Is there anything else you wanted to add in there before we take off?
Really, if I just had a few minutes, I wanted to talk about, good things lead to other good things, right? Yes. So whenever you start doing stuff and you get some momentum behind you, you can keep the ball rolling. And one of the next things that came along after our merger in 2015 was essentially the Safer Group in 2017. Have you ever heard of the Safer Group?
I was doing a little background for tonight, and I heard a clip with the Safer Group, and it's a group of your departments with an incident command structure type of thing. I didn't get the whole.
Yeah, so it is essentially a 5 fire departments: the Cranberry Fire Department, Adams area, Harmony Fire District, Callery, and Evans City, that all came together to try and essentially handle the NIOSH top 5 that you see that are the problems on every fire ground. Jimmy Ellis sat us down and he led us through a conversation that had essentially made us realize that all of us really were facing the same problems, and that we were all, and how do we fix them? If the NIOSH top 5 is really improper risk assessment, lack of incident command, lack of accountability, inadequate communications, and failing to follow standard operating procedures, those are the 5 things. And through us implementing a joint operating guideline, a common operating picture, essentially a playbook for our firefighters to follow on incidents, it has honestly taken us light years ahead of where we were before. Everybody's kind of doing their own thing. And when people do their own thing, the firefighters coming onto the fire ground don't know what to expect. And that leads to firefighter fatalities. But we now have this playbook that we use and it doesn't 100% fit everything, but we have the ability to call. We call it calling the audible, just like a quarterback would do, and you can change it to fit whatever you need it to do to make the operation successful. So the SAFER group stands for Standard Assignments for Emergency Response, if I didn't mention that.
Oh, okay.
And, there's a website, it's called safergroup.org, and the motto of the entire thing is to do on your worst day, to provide service on your worst day, on our worst day. I totally butchered that.
We'll get your link up on the on our thing so that we have.
But the goal of it is just to streamline operations. And I will tell you that we had our growing pains started in 2017, and I would say that if you walked into a fire ground right now, everybody that shows up, they know what their job is, they know what they're doing, they know what's expected of them. And a lot of people think that won't work. Just like riding assignments. It takes time, it takes focus, it takes dedication, and it takes falling on your face a few times to pick up, dust it off, and say, all right, well, let's fix it and let's move forward. But the SAFER group is really something that's truly special. They have popped up all around the area here. There's several organizations, South Hills, the North Hills, the West Hills, that have all adopted standard operating guidelines around the city of Pittsburgh that kind of came from us and us putting our legwork out there for them to benefit. So
nice.
But it's really something.
You said it's all broke down on your website, which is what?
Yeah, safergroup.org, and you could find there's a residential, there's multifamily, commercial, and big box, and there's essentially tactical worksheets for each one of them, and the incident commander is supposed to run it as such. And it really streamlines operations significantly. Probably one of the coolest things that ever came out of it was there's standard ways of talking on the radio, standard ways of communications. And when we first started it, people would be like, these guys sound like idiots. Like, why are they talking so much? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? You know, the average Buford, Butler County. I
love that guy.
What's that?
Butler.
Yeah, but just like the people in Butler County that aren't proactive or progressive. You know?
Yeah.
They said it would just say it doesn't work or anything like that. Now, years into it, the entire county talks like the SAFER group does, which is really cool. The whole place has really adopted it, and it's become the standard way of communicating on the radio as far as on-scene reports and 360s and what have you. So it's cool to have a reach, even though you didn't intend to do it. So
is it like a subscription, or is it just out there for the world to have?
Everybody in the world can have it. Yeah,
That's nice.
I want people to get better based off of our legwork.
That's awesome. Thank you.
And just like I had mentioned before, it wasn't just me that did it. I'm not saying it was me. It was all the chiefs of all those.
No, I understand that. Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to every one of those. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. For sucking up their ego and their pride and saying, hey, let's do something to make us all better.
Yep. We got to do better every day. Got to do better.
That's awesome. I'm going to definitely check that out. All right, Chief. We really appreciate it. A lot of good information again. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Good to talk to you, Chief.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
All right. Have a good night.
You too. Thanks.
All right. So stick around. We're going to do our FireCam giveaway here from YouTube. But before we get to that, I just wanted to make everybody aware we got a new producer on our show, Chief Mark Grimm. He was there in the comments. But he joined as a producer and is going to be really helpful. And
he does my makeup.
Does he do your makeup? Yeah. Okay. That explains why you look a little different tonight.
I know. See that? I got a glow to me, don't I?
So it's hopefully we're going to get a lot of good guests out of Mark's connections. He knows a lot of people. So
yeah,
looking forward to that. And that was one of Mark's guests right tonight. That's Chief Garing.
Did you see his text?
Thank you, Mark.
I didn't see his text.
Mark Gregory is confirmed.
Oh, nice. We're going to have Mark Gregory on. Good.
All right.
It's first to know. Everybody got the information off the presses. So stay tuned for the dates of that. And we'll get to our giveaway here. Bear with me for 1 second. So this is from the YouTube. The first 500 subscribers. We fell short of our goal trying to get 500 subscribers, but Everybody that was public, we got their name on the list here, and we'll spin the wheel and we'll see who gets the fire cam.
This is it.
Exciting.
Oh man. I win it.
All right, Devin Smitley. So, Devin, if I can find your contact information on your YouTube, we'll
Send
get
us an
a hold of
email.
you. If not, send us an email at thirdduefirstin@gmail.com.
If anybody knows Devlin, give him a call if he's not watching.
Let him know. Maybe he's in the comments right now. He can chat and say that he's there, and we'll get him the fire cam. So congratulations, Devlin. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching, hopefully. And that is about all I had. I just want to mention we're still doing the giveaway for the FireCam flashlight for one of the first 200 subscribers to our X channel. So, and I don't even know, I have to look see how many subscribers we have on our X channel, but hopefully we're getting close and we'll give that FireCam flashlight away. But that's really all I had tonight, huh?
TikTok.
Yeah, we're on TikTok now. That's really taken off, surprisingly.
Is it? Oh, I don't. I should probably have that now that I have. Like,
don't get it, because if you'll just be glued to it all day long. Just swipe. It's like short videos. You can just swipe and swipe and swipe.
Yeah. Okay. So I won't do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Just let me know what happens.
It will ruin your life. Don't do it.
I'm not doing it. I promise you. I won't.
But I posted 5 shorts so far on there, and one of the shorts from Tom Cook, I think it was about duplication of apparatus. That short has like 5,000 views already.
Nice.
on TikTok. But we got like several hundred subscribers already on TikTok, and I just started it, so I was sort of surprised how that sort of took off.
Supposedly, I'm TikTok famous.
I don't think so.
I heard some kind of videos out there about me.
No, not knowing a Bible verse.
Something. Yeah, I don't know, but it's out there for the world to see.
Yeah. All right, that's all I have. Geno, you got?
Well, the only thing I have is obviously Halloween's coming up here in 2 days, and take your kids out, but also watch your driving. Watch what even the upcoming days. Supposedly, from what I'm understanding, is some of these communities are changing it from Thursday to Friday, or from Friday to Saturday. So, it's so off the wall. Why doesn't everyone just celebrate it on Halloween?
Yeah, that's all I saw.
mean?
But I guess because the high school football game,
it was always toilet paper on the night before,
right? Yeah,
the people you didn't like.
I don't think that happens much anymore. I don't think Devil's Night is as bad as it used to be.
No, I wrapped my sister's house in some caution tape one time a few years ago. Me and Michelle.
I remember when I was a kid, my neighbors lived across the street from us. They TP'd my car, so their mother came over and gave me a bunch of rolls of toilet paper, and she's like, "Go get her back."
Oh, nice. See,
that was back in the cool days.
Yeah, that's when. Yeah,
used to be able to have fun with.
But anyway, that's all I got. Just be safe out there, everybody, and try not to suck.
All right, we'll see everybody next week at 7 p.m. Thanks for tuning in.